recently told my friend about my plans to run for office, expecting the usual advice: work hard, shake hands, and smile a lot. But instead, he handed me a book and said something I'll never forget. One of the most important traits of a successful politician is openness and intellectual curiosity. Every politician should read this book. And that book was Think Again by Adam Grant. And after finishing it, I honestly couldn't agree more. Have you ever noticed how conversations, especially online or in politics, quickly become battles about who's right and who's wrong rather than genuine exchanges of ideas? It's almost as if we've forgotten how to listen. Everyone is too busy defending their side, convinced that changing their mind means losing the argument or appearing weak. But in Think Again, he argues the exact opposite. Changing your mind isn't losing, it's growing, and learning is how we grow. Early in the book, Grant introduces a fascinating concept. We all take on three different mental models: preacher, prosecutor, and politician, when defending our beliefs. The preacher protects their sacred beliefs without question. The prosecutor attacks opposing views, aiming to prove them wrong, and the politician seeks approval, molding beliefs based on what others want to hear. Reading this, I saw my own past behaviors very clearly. I used to hop in call with my friend almost every night after work, and instead of playing games like, normal people, we would argue and debate about our differences in beliefs for hours, preaching our own, prosecuting each other's, and acting like a politician if we literally couldn't be bothered coming up with a ceasefire. But Grant offers a fourth role that we should all adopt instead: the scientist. Now, scientists don't view beliefs as identities, but as hypotheses to test. Imagine approaching every disagreement as an opportunity to learn, rather than a battle to win. How transformative could that be? Not just in personal relationships, but in politics, workplaces, and communities. Now, there's a really great story in the book that he opens with about a guy called Wagner Dodge. Now, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Hopefully I am. Now, he was a firefighter trapped by this huge wildfire in 1949. Now, instead of panicking, Dodge questioned conventional wisdom and set a small fire ahead of him to create a little safe area where he could wait out the blaze. Then he would lie on the ground and he would have a little pocket to breathe out of, so he would avoid the smoke. Now, this willingness to rethink saved his life, while his colleagues tragically didn't survive. Now, this really sums up the entire premise of the book. Embracing doubt and rethinking assumptions isn't just beneficial, but it can actually sometimes mean the difference between life and death. Now, most of us won't face literal fires, but we're surrounded by situations where old ways of thinking don't work. Whether adapting to new technological advancements, rethinking careers, or confronting global issues like climate change, stubbornly holding outdated beliefs hold us back. Think Again doesn't just encourage questioning beliefs, it proves practical ways to do it. Now, Grant also talks about the joy of being wrong. Yes, joy, happiness. Discovering you're wrong means you've learned something new, being smarter today than yesterday. There's strength in admitting mistakes, yet society rarely celebrates it, conditioning us instead to hide errors rather than use them as stepping stones. So how can we cultivate a habit of relearning? Well, Adam Grant offers some pretty practical advice actually. Number one is build a challenge network. People who aren't afraid to provide constructive criticism. Surround yourself with thoughtful skeptics who push deeper thinking. Now, next is detach beliefs from your identity. You're not your ideas. They're tools serving you. Your better ideas emerge. Adopt them without hesitation. Now, Grant also suggests conducting thought experiments. If you're convinced about a viewpoint, let's say nuclear energy, intentionally seeking evidence contradicting your stance could be really beneficial. This intellectual honesty signifies growth, not weakness. Now, I've been running my political campaign for nearly 4 months now, and to be honest, I think this book is a must-read for all politicians that get into office, because one of the biggest issues with major parties in democracies or politicians is stubbornness. People want to be right. It's human nature. But if being right comes at the expense of millions of Australians, then think again. Full pun intended. Every time I have a pop-up office, I actively look for opposing views to my policies so I can have fresh ideas and update my policies every single week. I'm 19. I can't run on the basis of extensive work experience or PhDs and doctorates in certain education sectors, so being curious is my secret weapon, and so far it has worked incredibly. Like, imagine a world where politicians, CEOs, and influencers openly admitted their mistakes and changed their minds in light of new evidence. Everyone would benefit massively. So, next time you're in a heated argument or scrolling through social media, remember, it's okay not to have all the answers. Embrace rethinking, reconsidering, and revising your opinions. We're all learners navigating a complex world. Let's stop pretending we must have everything figured out and start embracing the beautiful art of thinking again. If you're interested in giving this book a read, I've left a link in the description below for all of you guys to check out. It's the cheapest, best way to get the book. As always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see all of you in the next video.